What happens when a leader, destined to rule a great kingdom, chooses pride over humility, harshness over compassion? This is the story of Rehoboam, the son of King Solomon, who inherited a powerful kingdom but lost most of it through one misguided decision. In today's world, where leadership and power are scrutinized more than ever, the lessons from Rehoboam's story offer timeless wisdom. Let's dive into this powerful biblical narrative, uncovering the consequences of pride and the cost of rejecting wise counsel. Rehoboam's story is a timeless lesson about leadership, pride, and the consequences of ignoring wisdom. Let's journey back in time and uncover the critical mistakes that turned a king's rise into a nation's downfall, and discover how the lessons from this ancient tragedy can guide us in our lives today. After the death of King Solomon, the nation of Israel found itself at a pivotal moment. Solomon, renowned for his wisdom and wealth, had ruled with a firm hand, expanding the kingdom and creating grand works, including the magnificent temple in Jerusalem. But this splendor came at a cost. High taxes and forced labor weighed heavily on the people. As Solomon's son, Rehoboam, ascended to the throne, the people gathered at Shechem not just to anoint their new king, but to make a humble request. Among them was Jeroboam, who had fled to Egypt during Solomon's reign, awaiting the fulfillment of a prophecy that one day he would lead part of Israel. The leaders of the tribes, alongside Jeroboam, approached Rehoboam with a simple plea. "Your father was a hard master. Lighten the heavy labor and high taxes, and we will serve you faithfully." Here stood Rehoboam at a fork in the road. Would he rule with kindness and win the hearts of his people, or would he follow the path of dominance, asserting his authority without care for their struggles? His response would define not only his reign, but the future of Israel itself. Rehoboam, feeling the weight of this decision, requested 3 days to consider. He sought advice from two groups, the elder statesmen who had served his father and the young men he had grown up with, his close companions. The elders, with the wisdom of experience, advised compassion. "If you serve these people and speak kindly to them, they will be your loyal subjects forever." They understood that true leadership is not just about exerting power, but about cultivating loyalty through service and empathy. But Rehoboam, swayed by the pride of youth, dismissed their counsel. He turned instead to his young peers. These friends, eager to see their king flex his might, urged Rehoboam to respond with an iron fist. They advised him to say, "My little finger is thicker than my father's waist. My father laid heavy burdens on you, but I will make them even heavier. My father beat you with whips, but I will beat you with scorpions." The third day arrived, and with it the people returned, hopeful for mercy. Rehoboam stood before them, and instead of showing humility, he chose arrogance. He repeated the harsh words his friends had urged him to say, doubling down on the burdens his father had imposed. His message was clear. He would not be a king who listened, but one who ruled with dominance and cruelty. The reaction was immediate. The people, outraged and disillusioned, rebelled. Led by Jeroboam, 10 of the 12 tribes broke away from Rehoboam's rule, declaring, "What share do we have in David's line? To your tents, Israel." The once united kingdom was torn in two. The northern tribes formed their own kingdom under Jeroboam, while only Judah and Benjamin remained under Rehoboam's control. The story of Rehoboam's downfall is a stark reminder that leadership is not about asserting control, but about listening and serving those who depend on you. His mistake wasn't just about ignoring the advice of the elders. It was about the arrogance that led him to believe that power comes from domination rather than from compassion. In every sphere of life, be it in business, family, or community, arrogance is a dangerous guide. Rehoboam's downfall came because he valued pride over empathy. His choice to respond with harshness instead of understanding was rooted in the fear of appearing weak, yet true strength in leadership often comes from showing humility and kindness. Rehoboam ignored the wisdom of the elders and chose the reckless advice of his young friends. We, too, can fall into the trap of listening only to those who tell us what we want to hear, rather than seeking the counsel of those who have walked the path before us. Surrounding ourselves with yes men, those who only reinforce our own desires, leads to poor decisions. Wise leaders know when to listen to experience. True leadership is about serving others, not imposing your will on them. Rehoboam had the opportunity to ease the burdens of his people, but he chose to increase them, thinking that a show of strength would secure his authority. Instead, it drove his people away. In today's world, the best leaders are those who serve with empathy, striving to meet the needs of those they lead. Although Rehoboam initially failed as a leader, there's a silver lining to his story. When he prepared to go to war to reclaim the northern tribes, God sent a message through the prophet Shemaiah, telling him to stand down. For once, Rehoboam listened, and he refrained from further conflict. This teaches us that while we may make mistakes, it's never too late to correct our course. Humility in the face of failure can still lead to redemption. Rehoboam's story is one of pride, loss, and missed opportunities, but it's also a story about the potential for growth and change. His refusal to listen fractured his kingdom, yet when confronted with a divine command, he chose humility. The lessons of Rehoboam are timeless. Whether you're a leader of nations, a business, or even just your own household, the principles are the same. Listen more than you speak, choose humility over pride, and always seek to serve rather than to dominate. In our own lives, we face decisions every day that can either build bridges or tear them down. Will we follow the path of arrogance and control, or will we lead with empathy, wisdom, and compassion? The choice is ours, and the consequences, just as in Rehoboam's case, can last a lifetime.